Hi Virgo, here is a general look at your solar chart for March 2016, and this is an interesting month. There's quite a few things going on. There's going to be two eclipses, a solar eclipse on March the 8th in your opposite sign, and then a lunar eclipse on March 23rd on the Aries Libra axis. So first of all, the solar eclipse, which is going to be quite powerful for your sign, and even more powerful if you're anywhere near the degrees of it. The degrees will be 18 to 19 degrees, and that's an energy of change. That's an energy of new beginnings, both in your personal life, but also with your goals and ambitions, and maybe with your partnerships, your close relationships with others, whether they are temporary ones or whether they are, more long term. And this energy is going to allow a fresh beginning and a new energy coming in, depending on how you're using it, of course. But it will be unfurling and unfolding for anything from 6 to 18 months after it has occurred. The funny thing, though, about these eclipses is we often feel them before they occur. So that might be coming into your awareness anything up to a month before the actual eclipse goes off. I mean, some people have reported even more than that, but I wonder whether they were astrologers and were sort of aware of what was going on. I don't know. So that's interesting. And then those eclipses are also having knock-on effects with your Jupiter, your Saturn, Chiron, Neptune, a bit of Pluto thrown in. So it really is quite a significant solar eclipse. We won't see it in the northern hemisphere here, but it will be seen in Indonesia, or this part of it anyway, was seen in Indonesia and that part of the Pacific. Now we also have, then there's a lunar eclipse on the 23rd, and this will be a little bit different. This will be more in the area of the practical side of things, maybe the materialistic side, the money side, there could be more going on there like that. Joint monies, jointly held property, a lending, borrowing situation, and debts, loans, that type of thing. And again, that one unfolding itself maybe a month, 6 months after it's occurred. And depending, however significant it is, depends on where it is in your on the degrees in your chart. Now, Saturn's in a really good, it's in a really powerful angle, I would say, all year for you, Virgos, and this is you maybe having to deal with history, deal with what's gone before in the past, deal with property matters, deal with maybe things, emotions, patterns swept under the rug, your own or somebody else's, to do with the past. It's very much to do with the past, and the past having an impact in the present, but also, as I said, property matters, space, inside, outside. You Virgos born the 7th to the 9th of September, or with 15 to 17 degrees, where I'm going to feel that energy this month the most. And then this eclipse is also impacting Jupiter. Jupiter is in your sign. This is very interesting. It's a time for you to spread your wings, Virgo, and not taking off in every single direction, even though sometimes you might take off in a certain direction and think, actually no, this isn't for me, and turn around and come back. At least you've got that story to tell, at least you've got that experience, that string to your bow, as it were. And every little bit of experience, no matter whether it was ideal or not, is going to come in handy for someone somewhere down the line. That's what I find anyway. So you're going to be discovering a lot. There's going to be new landscapes in your territory, maybe physically, mentally, emotionally, and don't go too far too fast, but this is definitely time for thinking bigger as well. Getting the broad overview and realizing, okay, there's a big canvas here. I'll just start the whole thing off before I put on all the lovely little sort of fiddly twiddly ornamental bits, which you're so good at, is doing this grand sweep to get the general outline of the shape of whatever it is about that you're doing or going to be doing, you Virgos. So, and those of you born the 6th to the 12th of September, or with 14 to 20 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most this month. And then, of course, we have Neptune in your opposite sign, meaning that maybe you will be called upon just that little bit more to be the support there for somebody else during these many years that Neptune's there, but you having to be quite firm in a kindly sort of a way about, you know, your time and how you need a certain amount of time for yourself. But obviously you're going to be there for whoever. Just try and schedule things in a way which suits both sides, really. You Virgos born the 30th of August to the 2nd of September with 8 to 11 degrees rising, you're going to feel that energy the most. And then what else is going on? We also have Saturn going over Sagittarius, maybe a little bit more pressure there, a little bit more to do, a little bit more responsibilities. This is an energy that you have to kind of really throw more weight behind to get through, and you just have to be stronger in yourself, reinforcing that sense of safety and security within yourself. And then we also have a similar outline here with Jupiter and Saturn. They're moving across each other's degrees, especially from mid-month onwards. So that might make you feel a little bit more limited in your freedom of action, and deciding yourself where to set your limits, and then working within those parameters is probably the best thing you can do, because then you realize there's a lot more options than you thought. And then we also have Mercury, your ruling planet, and Venus crossing paths with Neptune. Mercury between the 10th and the 11th, and Venus on the 19th to the 21st. Again, somebody not understanding or getting the wrong end of the stick. Could be somebody else, could be you. And is it getting a bit dark in here? Hopefully. Hopefully you can still see, and it's probably darker than it's probably less dark than it looks to me, you got to be clear about what was said or what was written, or what is said and what is written, or they do. You got to make sure that they have understood whatever, because it's ever so easy to kind of get it wrong. And to say, oh, I thought you were turning left when really you were turning right. I mean, even behind the wheel of a vehicle it could be, or whatever it is. And then, of course, Venus, somebody seeming to be more in your eyes than actually they're probably going to turn out to be, or something. So all that glitters is not gold, you know. But having said that, having covered those two ways that could possibly work in a more sort of slightly negative way, although that's not quite negative, but is the way that is advised for this energy to work, is that you really do feel almost like a spiritual connection with somebody, or more than one person. Maybe you're just in that kind of environment, and you do actually. I mean, you might be in an environment or with somebody where you can actually speak out and say that, like, we know each other from before, don't we? Or you can't, but you just sort of secretly tuck it away, and you just feel like, I got a sense of belonging here, or however it is. I mean, it might not be like that. It might be that you're somewhere really beautiful and your heart just like gasps in awe. Right, it might be like that, or maybe there's more music around. Maybe there's more dancing. It is Neptune after all. Maybe there is an energy of compassion, of kindliness, of gentleness, and you really, really appreciate that. Maybe it's coming towards you, maybe it's coming through you. And that's the kind of thing there, but you can be more subtle and more creative and more service orientated with this energy. It really is getting quite dark. And then Saturn is still pretty close to Uranus up until mid-month. I spoke about Saturn and Uranus last month. This is a dreams come true one. They're in a really good angle to each other, and just keep putting that steady focus and be consistent on that thing that you're working towards, that you have a hope for, that you waited for a long time, and then it's beginning to come together. Woohoo! You know, the green light's there, but you're still having to go slow because maybe there's other traffic in front of you, but you are moving forwards. Last week we have Mars going over the Sun, and they're going to spark off each other in a dynamic manner, and you can get a lot done there, or there can be a lot going on around you maybe as well. So now, as I say, Jupiter's in your sign, just quickly running over Sun, Mercury, Venus, and actually Sun, Mercury, Venus are in like teaming up with others, partnership area, cooperative sort of situations, you know, each one putting their two pennyworth in, contributing. Mercury is and Venus are focusing very much on the practical side of life, but you get help with those practicalities, with that to-do list. Maybe it's to do with health, you get help. And then they both move out of there to where the Sun is, which is to do with teaming up and cooperating. And then we have Mars. It's been in a long time, actually, since early January, in an area which is very friendly towards your sun sign, Virgo, speeding up mental processes, meaning that, you know, again, making connections, coming and going, increasing perhaps, more coming into your mind, more mentally overloaded maybe sometimes, so chilling out whenever you can, getting it sorted, when you kind of get back up on your feet again. But this is all about this is all about learning, really. You're on quite a learning curve here, and there could be more types of paperwork and correspondence. But then Mars moves on the 6th and stays for a long time in the next sector, which is all at the root of your chart. Physical effort related to property, location, place on the map, or maybe not that, maybe it's family, maybe it's space inside, outside, maybe it's travel, maybe it's not that at all, maybe it's community, or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's skeletons, emotional things, skeletons rattling in the cupboard. And to do with the past, to do with people from the past, situations from the past, for some of you. But over and above that, you could be really getting dynamically interacting with Mother Nature, you know, getting your hands dirty in the garden or whatever it is. So it could be a little bit of everything there. And the Sun is going to move on the 20th into an area where you're weighing things up, you're feeling more intuitive, more introspective, and you're getting to the truth of something. And really, it's a kind of Scorpio's house, and really the way the light's gone now, it kind of looks like I'm on the ghost train or something, doesn't it? Anyway, that's it for where are we, March. And yeah, a lot of interaction with others on a one-to-one over this time for you, Virgo. So listen to your moon sign or your rising sign. Also, this material is on DianaGarland.com if you want to look anything up. And I'll see you the next time.